Life on the Outside, The Prison Odyssey of Elaine Bartlett, published in 2004, is a nonfiction narrative about the incarceration of Elaine Bartlett, a New York mother of four who was convicted on felony drug charges. The book chronicles her 16 years in prison and her struggle to reintegrate into society after her release. Written by Jennifer Gonnerman, a staff writer for The New Yorker, the book critiques New York's Rockefeller laws, which imposed harsh sentences for narcotics-related crimes during the early years of the war on drugs. It also delves into how the penal system fails to adequately prepare inmates for life after incarceration, highlighting the challenges faced by those reentering society as ex-convicts. Originally based on a feature Gonnerman wrote for The Village Voice in 2000, titled The Miseducation of Elaine Bartlett, the book is divided into 4 parts. The first section explores the events leading up to Elaine's arrest and conviction. The second focuses on her life behind bars. The third and fourth parts detail her efforts to rebuild her life after being paroled and reuniting with her family. At the heart of the story, Elaine agrees to transport a small amount of cocaine from Manhattan to Albany, hoping to earn $2,500 for a Thanksgiving dinner for her family. However, she and her boyfriend Nate are arrested in a setup before the deal is completed. During the trial, Elaine learns that the amount of cocaine she carried was enough to charge her with an A1 felony, which under the Rockefeller laws carries a mandatory minimum sentence. Elaine is offered a plea deal of 5 years, but she rejects it, believing she could receive a lighter sentence by going to trial, as it was her first offense. She convinces Nate to join her in rejecting the plea, and both are sentenced to long prison terms, Elaine to 20 years to life and Nate to 25 years to life. In prison, Elaine contends with isolation, a lack of control over her life, and the harsh realities of prison life. To survive, she resorts to stealing and uses marijuana as a coping mechanism. She grapples with the duality required in prison, appearing tough and ready for a fight in front of the general population while trying to maintain her role as a loving mother when her children visit. During these visits, her children, who have been living with Elaine's mother, Yvonne, in a crowded apartment with other relatives, hide their struggles from her to spare her added stress while she serves her time. The family is primarily surviving on Yvonne's small welfare checks. Elaine's children's efforts to downplay their situation are not the only reason for her lack of preparation for life after release. While in prison, Elaine participates in education and work programs, but finds them insufficient in preparing her for reintegration into society. After serving 16 years, Elaine is granted clemency, released on parole, and moves back in with her mother in the already overcrowded apartment. She discovers that some family members harbor resentment towards her for not being there to support them during the years of her incarceration. Her children, too, are hesitant to reconnect with her, fearing that she may return to prison. Elaine struggles to find employment or alternative housing, hindered both by her felony conviction and the apathy and discouragement that often accompany years of imprisonment. Elaine reflects that during her time in prison, she was constantly focused on the hope of freedom, but now that she is out, she feels as though she is in another form of captivity, waiting, whether for her parole officer, her welfare caseworker, or something else. Over the years, as Gonnerman follows her, Elaine's son is arrested and later released from prison. One of her brothers dies from AIDS, another is fatally stabbed, and her mother passes away from a heart attack. Despite these challenges, Elaine manages to navigate the stringent requirements of parole and avoids returning to prison. She finds work at a nonprofit serving homeless and low-income individuals and moves into a new apartment with her 21-year-old boyfriend, Dion, and 2 of her grandchildren. Compared to many former inmates, Elaine's achievements, securing employment, housing, passing mandatory drug tests, and complying with parole conditions, mark her as a success. However, Gonnerman's portrayal does not present Elaine as proof that the system works. Instead, she critiques the criminal justice system, leaving readers with the impression that, although Elaine has done better than many, she is still struggling to get by. Life on the Outside is Jennifer Gonnerman's only published book to date. Margaret Flanagan of the American Library Association has described it as a powerful testament to tenacity, raising important questions about the nation's underfunded and poorly designed reentry system for paroled inmates. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe.